Laptops. What's the worst thing you found on someone's computer? 15 plus toolbars that took up half the screen. Oh boy. The last company I worked for, I got a laptop back from one of the sales guys who was complaining that his computer was slow and kept crashing. He was the sort of guy who, rather than raise a ticket, sends an email with the entire exec team copied in about how he couldn't do his job because it were incompetent, etc, etc. Well, I got his laptop from him and noticed the hard drive was completely full. Most of the sales stuff is web-based, so there was no reason for the local drive to have anything on it. So, I had a look. Expertly hidden on his hard drive in a folder called work stuff was over 300 GB of naked pictures and videos of himself. Literally thousands of pictures of him naked. Videos of him dancing naked. Videos of him shoving things in his ass. One extremely awkward meeting with the guy's manager later. He was quietly let go. The inside of a heavy smoker's computer is beyond disgusting. It creates a fine orangish film that coats every single internal component, smells wretched, and will become a noxious cloud if you try and blow it off. Just go outside to smoke. Seriously. Father-in-law got a new computer and wanted stuff transferred over. His old computer had viruses and ran like shit. Due to this, I tried to figure out what actually needed transferring, rather than just transferring everything. After cleaning it up, stumbled upon pictures of him and dragged him getting a dildo shoved up his ass. Why do people insist on large thumbnails? Why? Couple of things. I found a dead rat inside a PC one time. Customer couldn't fathom why it shorted out. Thing was like a mummy too. Old 90-year-old dude comes in with a computer. Pop it on the tester / hook it up to a monitor and his background is the most hardcore gay porno ever. There are like 10 customers waiting in the shop, so I quickly just turned the monitor off, swapped the desktop background out in the back, and did the work. Was at an old couple's house backing up all their pictures, and those two old folks had some nasty self-filmed amateur porn on there. So many grey pubes. Had a customer come in and be like, I don't know why my computer isn't working. Load up the desktop and there's tons of malware. I ask what kind of sites he goes to so I can coach him on how not to get infected again. And like clockwork a bunch of malware pop-ups start flashing and playing the At Entities song. Took everything in me to just hold it together. All the other things are par for the course. Shittily hidden porno folders labeled innocuously, like I'm not gonna see some random folder labeled beach stuff that weirdly has like 3 TB in it while I'm backing up your files. Web histories to Nazi sites. Married dudes who 90% of their history is Craigslist hooker links. I mean, you work in it for like 10 years, nothing surprises you anymore. Had the FBI come in one time and take a computer that we were fixing. One lady just left her kid, 2-year-old, at the shop after dropping the computer off for like 3 hours till CPS came and there was a giant brawl in the waiting area. Somebody took a dump on the floor in our line one time. All in all, it was a crazy job. Buddy on my floor freshman year worked at the college help desk. A guy, who I actually knew through another friend, brought his computer in to get fixed. He was adamant about saving what was on the hard drive. My buddy saw some interesting file names and decided to look further. It was kiddie porn. Dude went to jail. My buddy had to testify at trial. My coworker asked me to fix his computer and I agreed, since he was a nice guy. It turns out it was actually his 13-year-old son's computer. As soon as I got it, I knew it was a bad idea. It was disgusting, covered in food particles and a white crusty residue I'm hoping wasn't pretentious. It wouldn't even boot up when I turned it on, but I managed to get inside with Windows Startup Repair. As soon as I logged in, I saw dozens of torrented video games and hundreds of GBs of porn. Oh boy. I ran a virus scan, and it removed so many files that it corrupted the hard drive and prevented the laptop from booting. I spent over 20 hours trying to recover the hard drive, but it was royally fucked. I gave the laptop back to him after I was able to get it booted and agreed to stop fixing PCs on the side. Not on, but in. A guy I know that fixed computers for a living, years ago, had a customer bring in a computer stating that the floppy drive had stopped working. When he opened it up he found cockroaches mashed against the read/write heads in the drive. He said he just closed it up and left it on the front step for the guy to come and retrieve. Windows Vista. My friend's dad used to fix up old computers and laptops, and one day he told us about this time this elderly man came into his shop to get his old desktop fixed. So he drops it off, and immediately my friend's dad notices it smells off, and I mean very off. So he goes to fix it, and when he pops open the side, I shit you not 20 cockroaches climb out of this thing and scatter away. On the inside is this rotten piece of meatloaf left over which has turned moldy black and gross. My friend's dad said he almost threw up in the moment, and they had to call an exterminator to kill the roaches. He called the elderly man back to tell him about his computer troubles. Apparently the old man had dementia or something and thought the computer was a fridge and he had stored his leftover meatloaf in there. Needless to say, they did not fix his computer. I worked for my university's department in the laptop depot, so we basically would do any repairs on student/faculty/staff's laptops. We had this really solid warranty with Dell where they were 100% covered for 4 years, even including intentional misuse. We saw all sorts of laptops full of dust, smoke, beer/wine/liquor. They would always say they spilled juice on their laptop. I got to the point where I could replace a motherboard on a Latitude D630 in under 5 minutes. The only time I ever saw a laptop that we refused to repair was one dude who barfed all over his. My boss just put on rubber gloves, put it in a plastic bag, and mailed it to Dell to be replaced.